Yo, what's going on guys? My name is Shadowjack and today I'm going to be going over 15 tips and tricks that will actually change the way you play the game and help you win more games as Ghostface. Let's get straight into it. Tip number 1 is going to be the 99 rule. Now this is the most fundamental rule, I'm sure you guys have heard it before, and let's just get it straight out of the way now. You should always be aiming to 99 your survivors instead of exposing them from far away, and never hit a 99 survivor with a basic attack, because you will completely reset all the stalk that you work so hard to get. However, you need to know when to break this rule. Don't be afraid to take a free hit on a survivor that you haven't stalked yet. People fall into a bad habit of only hitting survivors when they are exposed, but by taking that easy hit, you get a free health state, and if you're lucky, the other survivors might get off generators to heal their teammates. Tip number 2 is going to be stop running stealth perks. Since you're playing Ghostface, you are already arguably the stealthiest killer in the entire game. Don't waste your valuable perk slots on things like Trail of Torment or Tinkerer, because you don't need to be any stealthier than you already are. Instead, you should be using your perks to prevent survivors from escaping you. Perks that give you haste or information are going to be way more valuable. If you do really want to maximize your stealth though, use these add-ons to get your power back faster. Tip number 3 is going to be wear darker cosmetics. If you really want to win your games, avoid using bright skins like the Blighted skin or the Ice outfit. Instead, stick to the default or the classic outfit so you blend into darker areas of the map. Or if you want to be more camouflage like me, you can use the brown outfit that I'm wearing here. It blends in really well with the trees on most maps, and it also blends in with the brush on orange colored maps. Plus, it just looks really cool. Tip number 4 is going to be always lean when you're stalking. If you don't already know this, stalking while leaning is significantly faster at building your stalk meter compared to standing out in the open. Always try to find a wall or a piece of cover to lean from. You can also partner this mechanic with the add-on Philly, making it incredibly easy for you to get those exposes and down multiple survivors. Tip number 5, break line of sight to reset reveals. If a survivor is staring at you and trying to reveal you, try to break line of sight. Even if you break line of sight for just a fraction of a second, it completely resets their reveal timer. You can use your crouch to do this behind taller loops too. It's also just a great habit to get into. If you break line of sight, the survivor will often rely purely on your red stain to figure out where you are, and you can use that against them to mind game them. Tip number 6, use high ground. Always look for tall structures like a main building in the middle of the map. This lets you stalk safely with walls surrounding you, and the high ground gives you so much more information because you can see further around the map. Also, a little bonus tip here, but the stalk range for Ghostface is actually longer than the reveal range for survivors, so if you're far enough away, you can stalk survivors and they can't do anything about it. Tip number 7, stalking through cracks and glass. Whether you're in a building or at a loop like Killer Shack, look for any tiny gaps in the walls, netting, or cracks. You can stalk survivors directly through these without being spotted at all because of how hard it is to see you. Also, on certain maps, you can stalk survivors directly through glass windows. Even if they are looking directly at you through the glass, they won't be able to see you because the game doesn't register it. Tip number 8, let your add-ons replace your perks. Your add-ons dictate your entire playstyle as Ghostface, and they can completely replace your perk slots. For example, if you run an add-on like Drop Leg Knife Sheath, you don't really need to run haste perks, because the 10% speed boost you get after exposing someone is more than enough to catch them. Another example of this would be if you're running something like Outdoor Security Camera. You don't need a cross-map aura reading perk like Barbecue and Chili, because your add-on is already doing that job for you. Tip number 9, invest in remote gen regression. In my opinion, remote gen regression is mandatory on Ghostface. Always save at least one perk slot in your builds for remote gen regression so you have the freedom to chase survivors without wasting time kicking generators. For example, Surge is incredible on Ghostface because every time you down a survivor, nearby gens explode and start regressing. This means you can expose a survivor, ignore the generator that they were on, and just go for the down. Not only do you get to down a survivor, but the gen will explode automatically for you. Not only that, but if someone was on that gen, they'll scream and give you info. Tip number 10, wait out your cooldowns. There are going to be situations where you need to be patient and wait for your power to come back instead of attacking. For example, let's say you're stalking a survivor on a gen, and they reveal you just before you can fully expose them. Don't just run up to them and attack them. Instead, run after them, get right in their face, and try to bait out as much time and resources as possible. If they panic, they might drop a valuable pallet that you can break for free. By the time your power comes back up, you haven't given them a chance to escape, and you can instantly expose them and down them. Tip number 11. Stalk injured survivors. Stalking an injured survivor is one of the best things you can do as Ghostface because it effectively makes them a Trojan horse. If their teammates are working on a generator and see them injured, they might get off of that generator to heal them. If they do this, then they will have completely wasted their time, because the next time you see that fully healed survivor, you can instantly expose them again and knock them straight back onto the ground like nothing ever happened. This is incredibly useful in higher elo, and there is very little counterplay because survivors can't actually see how much stalk progress they have on them. Tip number 12. Break line of sight and vanish. I mentioned breaking line of sight earlier, but you can also use it for repositioning in chases. If you decide that you don't want to chase a survivor anymore, break line of sight, activate your stealth to remove your terror radius and red stain, and simply run away. The survivor and their teammates are going to assume you are still at the loop trying to mind game them, but in reality, you're already in a completely different position. Tip number 13. Accept map RNG. You have to accept that Ghostface is a very bad character and map dependent character as well. Ghostface will see a lot of success on smaller indoor maps, but he'll struggle much more on wide open maps where he can be revealed easily. And he also struggles on larger maps where he has to travel miles just to put pressure on a gen. Don't get mad if you struggle on these maps, instead just blame behavior and try to win with good fundamentals and a strong 3-gen. Tip number 14. Prioritize short chases. You never want to commit to a 30 to 40 second long chase where you're running across the entire map while all the other survivors are doing gens. Instead, prioritize going for short chases where you either down the survivor in one hit or simply injure them and run away. By doing this, you force yourself to spread your pressure across different survivors, keeping the whole team constantly busy either healing each other or unhooking each other instead of sitting on gens all game. And tip number 15. Run Lethal Pursuer for the early game. This is a tip that is especially useful for newer Ghostface players, because bumping into a survivor in the first 10 seconds of the map completely ruins your ability to snowball. This is because if a survivor sees you before you see them, you get no stalk, you get taken out of your power, and now the whole team knows they're playing against a Ghostface. The issue gets even worse against Swifts, where one teammate will just run nearby you at a safe distance to prevent you from ever using your power again. By running Lethal Pursuer though, you don't have any of these issues. You see exactly where everyone is at the start of the match for 9 seconds, and this is great because it lets you plan exactly how you're going to safely expose your first target. Bonus tip. Number 16. The crouch fake. I want to include this tip as a bonus tip because not only is it very effective, but it's also such a fun trick to pull off. If you find the right moment to do this, it can actually be more scary for the survivors than getting pulled off a gen. Here's how it works. Imagine you've just downed a survivor, and you know that somebody might be nearby with a flashlight. Walk up to the survivor who's laying on the ground, turn your back away from where you think the flashlight save might come from, and crouch for exactly 2 seconds. This gives the guy with the flashlight the illusion that you're trying to avoid them, and you're now stuck in the animation of picking up their teammate. If you wait 2 seconds, they will run right up to you to try and get a better angle to flashlight you. But then all of a sudden, you're going to stand up, turn around, and smack them right in the face. I can't even begin to explain to you the absolute dopamine rush you get from watching a survivor literally stand still in shock for a moment when you pull this off, while they try to process what happened. And yes, this trick will also work if a survivor is laying down under a pallet waiting for their teammate to save them. If these tips helped you out, be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more Ghostface content. Also, if there are any other tips that you can think of that I may not have included in this video, feel free to let me and everyone else know down in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.